Hello and welcome to Hollywood Highlights. In this video, we will cover some of the best and most enjoyable new Hollywood movies that have been released on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and other platforms. Even though not all of these movies have exceptional plots or performances, several of them are excellent in their own way and provide a lot of enjoyable watching. So if you're looking for new films to see, this selection's going to assist. Now let's start the video number 10, 24 Hours with Gasper. It is a 2024 crime drama film directed by Yasa Pangi. The narrative center is on Gasper, an amateur investigator who discovers information about a criminal involved in human trafficking and finds hints regarding his childhood companion who vanished without being found. However, due to a defective prosthetic heart, Gasper has just one day to live. Thus, with not much time left, he enlists the help of friends Kik and Agnes and sets out to wreak revenge by exposing the gang responsible for these bizarre disappearances. The narrative provokes thought on the fine line separating distress and justice and offers an emotional reflection on the essence of faith in the face of suffering. The film cinematography brilliantly portrays the rough yet elegant look of Gasper's universe, which immerses viewers in the film's environment. The story moves at a quick pace, successfully generating anticipation and tension throughout the film, but the action scenes are the major highlight, drawing audiences in from beginning to end. Even though the movie deftly switches between several plot lines, it falls short of fully capturing many aspects and details that made Armand's book such a captivating blend of science fiction and mystery. Ultimately, it's creative, entertaining, and well worth seeing. Number 9, You'll Never Find Me. It is a 2023 horror. Number 9 thriller film directed by Indiana Bell and Josiah Allen. The narrative centers on Patrick, a lonely person who resides in an RV neighborhood shortly following a terrible storm. An enigmatic young woman approaches his residence requesting protection from the stormy weather. However, the further the night goes on, and the more that the young woman understands about Patrick, the more challenging it becomes to get out the traditional setup of a one-lock house drama functions. Well, here as we witness two unrelated individuals trapped in an isolated cabin, each carrying their own personal secrets, the plot neatly unfolds, creating mystery and suspense with numerous potential outcomes, but it gets increasingly predictable, and the impact of the suspense is somewhat diminished. Although the tale doesn't quite reach its goal, its simple writing, power performances, and cramped execution make it an exciting watch. Not everyone will be satisfied with the conclusion, but it's refreshing for a movie to demonstrate what creative writing can accomplish. Number 8, Ricky Stanicky. Number 8. It is a 2024 comedy drama film directed by Peter F.Y. The plot centers on three childhood close friends who create the imaginary person called Ricky Stanicky in order to get themselves out of troubles. The three continue to use this imaginary Ricky as a convenient justification for their childish actions, even 20 years after they made this non-existing friend. However, when their wives and friends become curious and desire to see the legendary Mr. Stanicky, the responsible three conspire to cast struggling actor Rod to pretend is Ricky. However, as Rod overplays the part, he starts to cause them more issues than he can fix, which causes them to start to regret ever coming up with Ricky in the very first place. This story is nothing new, but it's very entertaining. It definitely combines light comedy, straightforward yet heartfelt messages, and a delightful story to offer both general happiness and an insight into various aspects of being human and personal growth. The great performance by John Cena, together with a seamless and energetic cast, lifts the film above its traditional plot, demonstrating the filmmaker's skill to tell narratives that engage with the viewer through humor and reflective thinking. Number 7, Little Wing. It is number 7, a 2020 E4 drama film directed by Dean Israelite. The movie centers on a teenage girl, Caitlin McKay, whose existence is made more difficult by her parents' turbulent divorce and her mother's choice to auction their home. Meanwhile, when a close family relative offers Caitlin to racing pigeons, she learns that some of them are really precious and devises a scheme to capture a rare bird in order to help pay off her mother's loan. The chaos begins when Caitlin chooses to steal the bird from the pigeon grower that resides near her home. As a result of this event, Caitlin and her family are soon involved in pigeon racing while she forges a complex bond with the owner of the expensive bird. The story has a dramatic plot, but it sparkles strongest through its young actress Brooklyn Prince, whose representation of Caitlin is both sympathetic and believable. However, the story overall impact is lowered by its predictable plot aspects, which might have been improved with crisper writing. Though it falls short of its full potential, it nonetheless has an emotional impact and is an inspiring story about unforeseen friendships and learning about oneself. Number 6. The Number 6 Parades. It is a fantasy drama directed by Mahito Fuji. The story depicts Manako, who wakes up on a beach and searches for her son Rio as she encounters an assortment of people and discovers the terrible news that she is dead. Her newfound friends are likewise caught between realms and unable to pass on because of unresolved matters involving the mortals. Even though Manako finds it difficult to come to terms with the change in her life, she participates in the monthly parade, an event when the deceased go in quest of those who they hope to meet again and learn more about their other deceased friends. In the process, the narrative explores topics of love, grief, and the strength of human connection, while taking viewers on an emotional trip into the realm of the afterlife. The parade sequences is the movie's high point, and there are no words to express how breathtakingly it's shot. Overall, the film addresses subjects of affection, sadness, and life after death, but above all, it offers peace and hope. Its general message is positive and skillfully delivered, and it is really worth checking out. Number 5. Roadhouse. It is a 2024 action drama film directed by Doug Liman. The main character of the story is Dalton, an ex-UFC fighter who works as a guard at a Florida Keys roadhouse run by Frankie. Meanwhile, Frankie wants Dalton to help fix up her wild bar, which is continually destroyed by rowdy clients and deadly fights. However, as Dalton works to put things back in order, it places him in danger with area millionaire Ben Brand, who has other ideas for the Frankie's establishment. The plot advances as Ben Brand becomes irritated with Frankie's unwillingness to sell the bar and sends Crazy Knox to close down Roadhouse, which finally results in a clash between Dalton and Knox. Jake is the heart and energy of the movie, displaying an incredible physique and performance. Additionally, since the ending is left open-ended, a sequel is not out of the question, although the original Roadhouse featured a balanced plot with a fascinating core romance and enemies with interesting motivations. This revised edition places a greater focus on action and updates it for today's audiences. It is still a lot of fun, even though it isn't quite as good as its predecessor. For fans of action movies, it's an enjoyable watch overall. Number 4. Ordinary Angels. It is a 2024 drama film directed by John Gunn, inspired by a true tale. The movie is set in 1994 in Louisville, Kentucky, and revolves around Sharon Stevens, a hairstylist who finds new purpose after meeting Ed Schmidt, a widowed man who works hard to support his 2 kids, while Ed Schmidt's youngest daughter is awaiting a liver transplant. Sharon resolves to support the family and organizes the neighborhood to help Ed Schmidt protect the life of his daughter. What follows is a heartwarming story of ordinary miracles and inspiration infused with belief. You might find it unusual to witness Alan in the role of a struggling father after watching him in action-packed roles. And this one is surely not for everyone, to put it simply. If you're in a state of mind for some sentimental feelings and a happy ending, this story will be plenty absorbing. While the emotional content is inconsistent, the film is ultimately pleasant and quite touching. Number 3. Ferrari. It is a 2023 biographical sports number 3 drama film directed by Michael Mann. The film is centered on motorsport RDR Brock Gates' 1991 biography. Enzo Ferrari, the man, the cars, the races, the machine. The movie centers on the private and professional hardships of Enzo Ferrari, the Italian who founded the Ferrari automobile company, while the racing team Scuderia Ferrari gets ready to race in the 1957 Mille Miglia. In the course of the summer of 1957, the film is set in the summer of 1957 amid the splendor and risk of 1950s Formula One, and follows Enzo Ferrari, an ex-racer who is going through a crisis when bankruptcy looms over the business he and his spouse Laura founded from scratch. He stakes everything on a single race, the perilous Miglia, a 1,000-mile race throughout Italy. If you have never considered how Ferrari came to be considered one of the greatest cars ever made, then this movie is not for you. The film explores the greatest heritage of motorsport through a surprisingly darker biopic of Ferrari's legendary founder. However, it gets lost in a lackluster personal tale despite having some solid racing sequences. Only give this a thought if you want to enjoy some amazing car races and learn about the Ferrari founder. Number 2. Argel. It is a number 2 2024 spy action comedy film directed by Matthew Matthew Vaughn. The tale revolves around Ellie Conway, a quiet spy fiction writer who rarely exits her house, yet is lured into the actual world of intelligence when the stories of her published works become too similar to the operations of a cruel underground organization. It all began when Ellie's imaginary books themes, which revolve around secret operative Errol and his quest to expose a worldwide spy network, started to resemble the clandestine activities of the Division, an actual world spy agency. In the aftermath, Ellie and her adored cat Alfie are thrown into an undercover world where absolutely nothing makes sense until Aiden, a spy, arrives to rescue her from being murdered or abducted. What follows is an adventure filled with exciting action as Aiden and Ellie travel throughout the world to remain a few steps ahead of the murders as the boundary between Ellie's imaginary and real worlds blurs. Although this is not a James Bond movie, it's not as terrible as some people have said. The film is a sleek, confusing spy thriller that incorporates elements from past films in an unexpected and delightful way. Even though the plot seems absurd at times, it's a fun trip that fulfills all the requirements for decent entertainment. However, I must admit that while having a wonderful ensemble, the picture struggles to make the most of them. Number One Land of Number One Bad. It is a 2024 action thriller film directed by William Eubank. Many people consider it a B movie, but it is one of the best action films of 2024. The narrative center is on a U.S. Army elite force squad that is attacked while on a mission to recover a classified asset. The main focus of the story is rookie officer Kenny, who is overpowered but eager to leave no one behind as an aerial attack approaches. Kenny's sole hope rests in the hands of Air Force drone controller Reaper, who must navigate him through an unknown danger in order to assist him in returning home. Despite the film's dense and appealing action, the story takes an unexpected direction in the last few minutes, turning to plot cliches that stretch reality overall. For those looking for action-packed entertainment, land of bad presence and engaging if imperfect rescue mission that should appeal to the majority of viewers, the movie ultimately delivers on its promise of having enough tension, filled moments, a compelling plot, and relentless action. That does this with outstanding performances from all around and lots of intense action sequences with some interesting aesthetic decisions. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video, and do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.